Well, we were told this was going to be the test. Jalen Hurts was going to get tested. Jonathan Gannon was going to get tested. This was the litmus test for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know how you scored it, but I think we passed with flying colors. All right, y'all, let's jump into this. What's up, Cerebral football fans? My name is Steven Hyder. This is Gay City Sports Channel. And if you're new to the channel, this will be the first, second, third time you caught my content and you enjoyed today's discussion. Look, we just crossed over 6,300 subscribers. We are on a journey, a path towards 7,500 subscribers. I would love to add you to the Cerebral football community. Just need you to hit that subscribe button to do so. To my OG subscribers, you already know what I'm going to ask you to do, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, smash the like button, help me spike the algorithm and get this in front of new people that we could potentially convert into our little community here on YouTube. Today's topic. Jonathan Gannon. Hey, man. I kept trying to defend him this whole week, guys. I was trying to calm the seas here. Kept trying to tell people, do not assume we're going to lose a football game to the Minnesota Vikings at home on Monday night. And look, I dealt with a wide range of comments. People saying like, hey, we went on the road last year, won the first game on the road, came back home in a primetime game and lost the home opener. That's true. And I understand where you were coming from with that comment. But in the same regard, this ain't the 2021 season, it's the 2022 season. You now have a coaching staff that has more experience than it did in week 2 of last year. You now have a quarterback who has way more experience than he did in week 2 last year. The results weren't the same, were they? Let's just be honest. This team played as a unit. It played as a unit and it stuck together. And that's really encouraging to see from this, projecting forward, if you will, is the fact that this team fought together. When one side has a little bit of a lag, the other side picks it up a little bit for you. And that's what you want to see. And I got to be honest, man. How good was Darius Slay and James Bradbury in this game? Man, early on, consecutive third down plays. Those two guys got in there for pass breakups to force those, 3 and outs. I thought they played tremendously. I thought this defense came out there and was hungry. I still don't love the Hassan Reddick being dropped into coverage stuff. They do that 4, 5, 6 times a game where they're going to drop Hassan Reddick into coverage. I'm not a big fan of that. I understand conceptually why they do it. It's part of the scheme. I've been telling you guys this forever, that when you look at those, what they call the overhangs, but, the rush edges, if you will, the way that this scheme is set up, you have a true rush edge that comes from basically the defensive right, so the right defensive end or the right outside linebacker, or insert terminology, right wing if you want. And then you have the jack linebacker. The jack linebacker, generally speaking, is going to play to the left, but keep in mind, strong side of the formation kind of determines this stuff. So strong side of formation could technically be offensively left or right, and then your defense counters it. So with the jack linebacker role, that role has to drop into coverage every now and then. It's just the way it's played. It's the way it works. I understand that Gannon is probably comparing Hassan Reddick to Jannard Avery last year and saying that, there's more athletic ability here. Jannard Avery wasn't a slouch per se, but, he was particularly bad in coverage. And I don't think Hassan Reddick is that much better, if I'm being honest, in coverage. But at the end of the day, how much did it matter? That's what I'm trying to keep in the perspective here, guys, is how much did it matter at the end of the day? What are we talking about? At the end of the day, Dalvin Cook had under 20 yards rushing. Justin Jefferson under 50 yards receiving. Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk, under 200 yards passing. Can't draw it up any better than that, guys. We completely shut this offense down. We were told we were going to get cooked in this game, right? All of our little NFC East opponents, all of our little friends from other communities chiming in during the live stream, pretending to be Vikings fans, but you can almost tell by the context of what they say sometimes that these are not Viking fans. It's clearly Cowboy fans, Commander fans, Giant fans, hoping and wishing. We shut it down. We shut that offense down. And I'm going to call it out. Pre-game, I told you guys, I said, they have a tremendous pass rush ability. I really like their 1-2-3 kind of stacking of guys that they have for the, wings, those double wings for them. They got 3 dudes that can really get a pass rush home. I thought Zadarius Smith was a very good signing for them during the offseason. With that said, I told you that they're pretty weak up the middle. They can be run on. And I said that secondary, I didn't just say that it was suspect. I told you straightforward it was garbage. I know Viking fans might not appreciate the terminology and the use of words for them, but I'm just being honest, guys. It's not meant to necessarily hurt people's feelings. I'm just telling you the utter truth of what the film showed, is that you guys beat your chest for beating a Green Bay team that should have beat you. They dropped a lot of opportunities to make that game far more interesting. I didn't think you were going to have that repeat performance here against Philadelphia. And the way that I took it and the way that I stated this was, you know what? Yeah, I'm concerned about Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is a good player, right? Yeah, KJ Osborne, Adam Thielen. You got a good receiving core there. But I had far more faith in our ability with Avonte Maddox, our ability with James Bradbury, and our ability with Darius Slay to match up against you guys than I had in your secondary, Patrick Peterson, 2 years past when he should have retired, trying to play meaningful minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I got to call it as it is. Dantzler, who just doesn't have the ability to run. I'm sorry, guys. I had way more faith in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert against your secondary than vice versa. I felt like could be a shootout, but if we really need a stop, I trust us to get the stop more than I trust your secondary to get the stop. And turns out we didn't need it. It turns out Darius Slay was absolutely dominant. I mean, big play Slay. I mean, dude had to have 4 pass breakups at least. Had to have at least 4 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. Probably could have had 4 or 5 interceptions. I mean, he had a couple go right through his hands, to be honest. Slay, man. Slay had a big game. I can't lie, man. Like, defensively, I thought Jeff Sweat was disruptive coming off the edge. I thought we saw a little bit from the interior pass rush. I love the way that they're reconfiguring the rotation on the defensive line. I like seeing that Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave kind of, overset, that heavy line they went with, which makes it difficult for teams to run up the middle on us. Like, it's really hard to get a push against those guys when those 3 guys are in the game together. And then you got those overhangs, those wings. I thought Gannon was particularly aggressive, at least on third downs. I thought he definitely kind of came after Kirk Cousins on third down. And I said, I told you guys, I said, Kirk Cousins is a good ball player, right? He's going to definitely be the litmus test for if we can actually stop a decent quarterback from doing damage against us. And Jonathan Gannon had a lot to prove going into this game. With that said, I did say that if you can win on first and second down and put them into compromising third down situations, the one thing about Kirk Cousins is that he doesn't play well against pressure. So if he does try to get the ball vertical on you in pressure, he's prone to make a mistake. But then number 2, he doesn't like to get hit. So I went through all the analytics. I talked about SIS, and I talked about, next-gen stats. I talked about PFF. I talked about Football Outsiders, and I told you, no matter what database you want to use, if you look at the metrics that measures, basically air yards to the sticks or throws to the, towards the first down marker, he will throw it short. He will throw it short on third down. Football Outsiders gives you a very specific number that's specific to third down to show that information. I told you, win on first and second down and put him into compromising third downs and bring the pressure on him, you're going to see very good success rate here. We're going to have a lot of success doing that. And we did. And I got to be honest, man, I thought they executed the game plan very well. I thought Shane Steichen did a really good job in that first half of really, really challenging that Minnesota defense. I thought he did a really great job of not only getting the ball into guys like Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, making sure that the spread chart, if you look at targets and the target share and how they're allocated, of course, he did a great job there. Got Devontae Smith involved early, definitely kept going back to Goedert. Goedert kind of became the safety valve there. The offense still sort of flowed through A.J. Brown, if we're being honest. I thought they did a really good job, but he also mixed in the run with great success. Man, Miles Sanders, 2 games in a row where I've really thought Miles Sanders has been really, really good. I got to be honest, man. I'm really starting to like the components of this offense. It's starting to come together. Do I still think that we might have a little issue with the 4-minute offense, 4-minute defense stuff with closing out games? I thought the defense rose to the occasion clearly last night because we gave Minnesota plenty of chances on the other side of the 50 to get back in the football game. The defense was like, nah, we're closing the door on this thing. Defense, congratulations, it showed up. Offensively, I still think that there are times where we got to be a little bit more in that 4-minute offense. I mean, I'm curious to see once they get Trey Sermon inserted into a flow here, how they use them. If that's going to work. I really do think that Boston Scott, when he gets touches and he gets the chance to play, I think he's pretty good. And like I said, I've been really impressed with Miles Sanders, guys. he's playing for a contract, and he's in a weird situation because we all stated this. Like, if he plays too well, if he has like a crazy top 3 rusher in the league, like it's going to be really difficult for him to gain a contract in Philadelphia. Although he's probably going to get paid somewhere else. But if he doesn't play well enough, they're not going to. He's like in a weird situation where he needs to play just good enough to get the contract here, and that's kind of a tricky one. That's a weird situation to be in. But hey, I mean, right now I think this team is a contender. I don't know how deep it's going to make a run, but I definitely think that in terms of the NFC, this roster can stack up against anyone in the NFC. I feel like we got something here. It's going to be a week-to-week thing here, guys. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch here when it comes to, our offense. It looks good through the first 2 weeks. It really does. We've dominated the NFC North so far with our offense. We'll have to see how that plays out as, we get into more hard-fought division games, as we play maybe some slightly better defenses. We'll see how that stacks up. But people slept on how good the Lions were, and we were supposed to get taken apart by this Minnesota team. So far, we're 2-0. Hey, man. It is what it is, I guess, guys. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all's time and attention, guys. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. And with that said, guys, I'll see y'all later tonight. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here.